Just observing that you're in the garage.
Well, yeah, because it's closest to the router. You were upset last time.
Hey, we were all upset.
And if anything, I don't want my Eric to be upset.
Is that what it is? And I don't want my Jordan thinking he has good internet when he actually doesn't.
Hello, and thank you very much for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can download many more episodes at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com.
I feel like Ghostbuster Frozen Kingdom is more nostalgia than Afterlife. I want to see what you think about that. Today we're talking about Ghostbuster Ghostbuster Frozen Kingdom.
Frozen Empire. Close
Frozen
enough.
Empire. Blah, blah, blah. Eric, how the hell are you doing?
Who are you going to call? The
Frozen Empire.
Movie Guys Podcast, I guess, to correct you for the movie title. Yeah. I would agree with you. There's a lot of nostalgia in this one, a lot more than the first one, which I already forgot what name it was.
Afterlife.
Ghostbusters back at it again.
Right. This is a sequel that we didn't ask for, but maybe a sequel that we needed. I don't know. Like, I'm really torn because usually when I go into a review with you, I know what I'm going to give it. Sometimes I want you to change my mind, but I don't know how I feel about this yet.
I've had to adjust a bit because I was doing some research on this, as I usually do. I'd be a surprise to our audience where sometimes we don't do any research whatsoever, and that which is true for some movies. But this one I looked up, and even though it's slated as a supernatural comedy, I would say first and foremost, this is a kid's movie.
Yeah, no, I did watch it with my 7-year-old last night.
Yeah, it's a PG-13 movie. I understand that, but I would even say this. Listen, I've seen 8-year-olds in Scream 6. So
right, yeah, you can't.
I don't think there's even, and what you get on the internet and in movies nowadays, I don't think there's any age restriction that's being policed by much of anyone. But like the first Ghostbusters, the first two, I think, right, were PG.
Right, but those were kids' movies too. I mean, like they had some scary elements because that was the 80s.
And that's what I think. Well, this one's PG-13, and I think that just the MPAA is just gotten more, I don't know, restrictive on there, more, yeah. I don't know. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? Yeah,
more sensitive.
More sensitive and be like, oh, kids are gonna not like this, and just like, come on, stop that. This is the same organization that gave the King speech an R-rated because it dropped the F-bomb like 4 times. Just
right. I mean, like I actually looked at my wife and watched because we rented this on Amazon Prime, right? Because it was $20 to rent, and I looked at my wife and I was like, oh my God, is this PG-13 because they said asshole 4 times in the first 10 minutes? You notice that?
Yeah.
I was like, really? Okay. All right.
Yeah, well, how daring.
Okay, so I went back and watched Afterlife because that's available on streaming. I didn't listen to our review, but I went back and watched Afterlife a day before this movie, right? So I watched this movie yesterday. So Saturday I watched Afterlife. So I want to do a back-to-back. And I'm telling you, I don't know if you did that. You probably didn't. But this should be part 3 of a trilogy with this movie because there's a huge gap for the way that Afterlife ends to where this begins to makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
I would agree this is big. Also, did I say MPAA? I meant MPA. By the Motion Picture Association. Whatever. Correction. Listen, I listen to these episodes sometimes after we do them, and I'm just like, why did I say that? So I had to correct myself on that.
That's why I don't.
I agree that from Afterlife to Frozen Empire, there's
a gap.
Yeah. There's
a big gap.
Well, do you remember how old what's her name? Sophie?
The girl that plays Egon's granddaughter?
Phoebe, excuse me. Phoebe Spengler.
Well, she says she's 15 in this movie.
Yeah, she's 15 in this one. I don't know how old she was at the end of Afterlife. Do you know?
What is this? No, but it's just how it jumps, right? So like, if you don't remember for the fans either, Afterlife ends with they beat Gozer. Great, they bring that nostalgia back, and then it cuts to the Ghostbuster house, the firehouse, and
Yep.
there's Bill Murray with Sigourney Weaver. Cut credits like there was nothing. When this movie starts, they're kind of following the comic book. Have you ever heard of Ghostbusters Incorporated?
No, I'm aware of that. Don't know anything about the comics. I've seen the cartoons.
Right. That's what this is. Like this is like Ghostbusters Incorporated because they went from Ghostbusters don't exist anymore in small town Oklahoma going against Gozer.
Yep.
Sorry. Wow, I'm an idiot. To now they have a whole underground system that's funded that has multiple scientists and all this money. It's like, where did this come from? That's
Yeah.
my big issue right off the bat with this movie, Eric. It's like you don't go from small town middle America to big New York with all. I mean, where did this come from? Seriously.
No,
And
no.
that was a big gripe for me.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I do also think that if I read this correctly, that the original remaining cast, excuse me, were basically just cameos in Afterlife, where in
Yeah.
this movie they are characters.
Yeah, they are, right? That's because they were cameos in the all women's Ghostbusters. They were
They were
cameos in
cameos
the
in
last.
Afterlife.
They were cameos in Afterlife. And now, I mean, well, Ray's a character. Bill Murray comes in at the end. And what's the other guy?
Winston,
Winston. Winston's kind of
but
Ray's more of a
Even
character.
Janine, the
Yeah, right.
receptionist,
Yeah, why isn't what's his face in this anymore?
Rick
Oh God,
Moranis,
yeah, why isn't he in it?
Louis
It'd be great
Tully.
if he was in it.
Him,
But we
him, and
get
Sigourney Weaver. I actually read about this. Actually, the director and writer Gil Keenan just said that it's not that they don't want him in there. It's that this movie, Frozen Empire, just had enough characters in it already. They didn't approach or offer any roles to Rick Moranis or Sigourney Weaver. They just felt like it wasn't the right time.
okay, but it was the right time the last time, right? Because wasn't uh, what's
Uh,
his face's son?
yeah, yes, you're right. Or Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman.
Right,
No, Jason Reitman directed the
Jake,
first one, Afterlife,
right,
who's the son of Ivan Reitman, who did Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
right.
Yes.
All right, so now this takes place. I'm going to say a couple of years after Afterlife. They're in the not stereotype. Wow, Jordan. They're in the OG Ghostbuster house, and they are busting ghosts right off the bat. The city of New York seems to love them, right? And they're out getting ghosts. Um, Fun little thing. They brought back Williard Peck, I think is his name from the very first Ghostbuster movie.
Walter Peck.
Walter Peck. I like my name better. That guy is a jerk. He was a part of like the APA in the first movie. Now he's the mayor of New York.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it, right? I just absolutely love that this guy is back. Pulled him out of the Drex. I bet this guy was excited to get a phone call. Like, yeah, I bet he was like, "You remember me?"
Yeah.
Like, oh, I loved it. You would think that he would love the Ghostbusters. So this is why I call BS on Peck's characters, because he was a jerk with the APA, gets him into prison in the first movie. They let him out to fight Gozer, and then he gets marshmallow goo dumped all over him. I mean, he's seeing the BS happen, right? Like, you would think that he would be like pro Ghostbuster, but now that he's the mayor, his ambition is to take down the people that saved the city 40 years ago.
I thought the same thing, especially when they reference all the characters in this movie reference in the past the original movies and the events that happened then, the great whatever event of the 1980s, the ghost
Right.
epidemic or whatever they wanted to call it. So I was confused a bit when everyone knows that ghosts are real and that you need obviously some sort of patrol or group department to enforce and capture these ghosts. So why not fund them? Why is this still private and Why are you just kind of trying to say that this is not a thing when you see
Right,
it
yeah.
with your own eyes? You know, the same thing happened with like Dana Scully in X Files, where this chick is still like, "Oh, I have to believe, science. There's got to be logical explanations." Like, chick, like you've seen aliens. You've seen aliens. You're
Yeah,
still denying them. Like,
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, if I was writing this movie, I would make Peck an Uber fanboy.
yeah, you'd think that there would be something. I understand that there's got to be a challenge there, but still have it to be him, like maybe in support, but at the same part angry of how they're going about doing it. Because I'm all for the way he acted to Phoebe, where in the current Ghostbusters, it's like you're letting a 15-year-old run around with a nuclear reactor on her back.
We're not paying her.
Yeah,
You know, no, yeah, I 100% agree with you, right? Like, but also I find it funny that they made reference to Ghostbusters 2, which they haven't yet. When they were like, do you remember in 1989 when they walked the Statue of Liberty and destroyed New York? I was like, they did. They just walked down Times Square.
yeah.
But you know, like Peck is fun. He's in this movie. This movie's caked with nostalgia.
Well, that's why
So
I feel like this is a bit more of the kids' movie. It's just because the bad guy is just the guy who's behind the desk, like, you can't do that. That's irresponsible.
yeah,
And for a movie that has a surprisingly a little bit more of adult themes that there would be, there's a lot of kids running around here.
yeah, right. So we got Phoebe, we got Podcast, we got Lucky. I don't remember Lucky, but I IMDb'd it. She was in the last movie.
Yeah, she was in Afterlife, right?
I don't remember her. Finn, what's his name? Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, Trevor Spangler, the other Spangler.
Right. Finn is, boy, he's grown up over our eyes, hasn't he? Like this guy comes from Stranger Things to It to Afterlife. Now this, like this kid's growing up. Is this movie also considered a Paul Rudd movie now? Like I actually, okay. What I mean is, I like Paul Rudd like in 40-Year-Old Virgin, right? Like that's when you kind of know Paul Rudd a little bit, and then his star kind of flamed out a little bit. This seems to be his franchise, or am I wrong?
You think he fizzled out after 40-year-old version?
Okay, so like you and I both know Paul Rudd is his first acting role in Halloween 666, but you know, like he gets 40-Year-Old Virgin, which is a big hit. I mean, like, tell me some big ones afterwards. Role models?
I would say that maybe his first big one. Sure, you might say it, but I don't know. I was gonna say like Clueless. People would know him from that.
Sure,
And
but
even
you and I
then,
know
he was in like a lot of other stuff too.
right,
Uh,
but after though.
okay, so yeah, I have his thing up right now because he just plays a fun character. He can play everything. He
He's
can
definitely an
play.
everyman.
Yeah, and so a 40-year-old virgin, right? Hold on, I'm passing by a lot of stuff, by the way, too.
Right, but you got like he was like cameos in like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He was the star in I
He was
Love You
in Night at
Man.
the Museum. He was in
Wait, yeah, okay.
Knocked Up. Right? He was in Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. Right? Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Right.
Role models. And I'm skipping over a lot of stuff, by the way, too. When I
Yeah,
Love
of
You,
course.
Man. Yeah, and then cameos. Jennifer Schmucks, which we all know bombed. Already a
Right.
Brother. Wanderlust. This is 40, which is the sequel to Knocked Up, right?
Which isn't good.
No, it was forgettable. But he plays a lot of these movies he plays a very Paul Rudd character.
Right. So what? And
Anchorman 2.
right now you're kind of proving my point. Right. So
What's your
it's
point
like
again?
that I think he needs this, and I think that this is a good thing for him, and I think that he was one of the best things in this movie. Like he was kind of like a throwaway character in Afterlife in the last one, right? He was just, oh, it's Paul Rudd here. He's a crazy high school scientist,
He
right?
was
But
the
now
star
he's kind of,
power for that movie.
well, I don't know. Finn was kind of riding that Stranger Things high right there, right?
Well, there you go. You don't have two. He's big up there. Those are two big names for a reboot because you don't want to go too big. You're going to get the mid
Right.
level, and then you're going to get the old
Right.
people that are coming back. But this is a guy who, keep in mind, by the way, too, has been consistent with the movies that he's done, whether it
Mm,
be with those kind of mid-level comedies, the Judd Apatow kind of a world there too,
right.
and then going into Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, Ant-Man 1 was cool, but whew, after that though,
All right, but he was still in Avengers, and he
yeah.
saved, in theory, he saved the world, the universe.
So far until they change it.
But he's. I don't think when you say that he needs this, I think this is just another project for him.
Well, what I'm saying
And
is that I think Marvel's dying. I don't think I know. You and I both know Marvel is dying. And I thought he was fun in the last movie, but I thought he was really good, a good fit for this movie. I did not find myself annoyed by him. I was actually very happy to see Paul Rudd in this movie. I'm
oh yeah,
actually happy to see everybody in this movie. The only person that didn't get away with is Paul Rudd's wife. She does nothing in this movie.
and I would agree that he was probably the best part in this movie. I, I
No, he
laughed.
was.
I laughed a lot at his one-liners, just because. Yeah,
You and I would do that.
yeah, exactly. He's got dad jokes. He plays just like a goofy older brother kind of a thing.
Yeah, like I enjoyed. So the movie goes on, right? And we also get another OG character. Finn Wolfhard sees green ooze or slime coming from the ceiling, and I knew exactly what was going on. My daughter didn't know what was going on. And I was like, oh, oh, and I do this kind of motion with my hands, like, oh, I'm excited. And my daughter's like, what? I was like, we're going to see, like, the OG ghost. And Riley doesn't know what OG means yet. So all of a sudden we see this big trash pile up in the attic. Why is it there? I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. And boom, OG Slimer. This is OG Slimer, dude. I like paused it on my Amazon Prime. Like this looked like his original design from '84. Like this looked good.
Does OG mean original ghost?
Yes,
There you go. It really was. It looked like a puppet.
it looked like the original, and I was so excited about that. For
Yeah.
some reason, about the little things.
Well,
I guess.
I think there's a demand for puppets and kind of prosthetics to come back into movies. It's you just can't beat it. CGI is so noticeable, right?
Yeah, depends. Yeah, yeah. I would like 80% agree.
I for
You
the
know,
most part, even if it does pass off as some, you could still be like, okay. Like I know that Disney is getting a little bit better at it, but then again, you see like Little Mermaid, and it's just like this is getting bad.
you know what CG is? I'm sorry, I'm sidetracked, but you know what CG that's good is. You remember the very opening of The Dark Knight with Joker, where the camera's zooming in and close into the building, right?
Yeah.
Remember that scene?
Okay.
A lot of those buildings surrounding that building are all CG put in there.
Right.
And like that's great CG, like wonderful.
Oh,
But
sure.
then but then you get BS
The
like
stills,
perfect.
CG stills are fine, but the moving action of things, like
Yeah.
like the babies in the Flash, you remember that one?
Yeah, that was bad. Matte painting CG is amazing.
There you go.
Right there. No, so it was great to see Slimer in this. I am digging where we are right now, right? Like I like that we're in New York. I like that we're in the. I think this is the original Ghostbuster house too. I don't because I know that's a museum in real life. So I don't know if they got permission to film the outside. Clearly, the inside was a soundstage, but I still enjoy where we're at. I like the car. I like how they have the original logos. I love everything right now. It's a nostalgia trip.
Yeah,
Right?
of course.
But the big bad, right? So the guy who I know him from tons of movie, right? Indian actor. But the most recent thing I seen him in was he was the what? He's an Indian actor.
Can you say his name?
I don't know his name. I know him as the Chippendales guy.
I'm just laughing. His name's Kumail Nanjiani. Kumail.
Kumar Nainojati. I'm not joking.
Kumail.
Kumail.
Kumail. Can you say mail? Hey, you've got mail?
Kumail.
Yay, you got it.
Yay, Kumail.
We won't even worry about the last half of that because I feel like that's just going to be.
Well, the reason why I said Chippendales
Can you say Johnny?
Johnny.
Can you say non?
Non
Non Johnny.
Johnny.
Kumail non Johnny.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Hey, that's the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
That's the show. No, he was playing the evil CEO of Chippendales in that show on Hulu. That was really good. That's where I remember him from.
Oh, okay. He's been in a
But I've
lot.
seen him
He was a stand-up
recently.
comedian that has turned into. He was in the Eternals, by the way. So we got 2 Marvel heroes in this movie.
Yeah, so he's the fire what? The fire
Is it Firekeeper?
firekeeper?
Drew Barrymore, Firestarter?
Mm-hmm. So the bad guy in the story.
Firemaster.
Firemaster. Better than firekeeper. So we can't do an OG ghost, right? Because then like having Gozer in Afterlife was okay and nostalgic, but there's no reason to have Gozer back, right? Like every movie need to have a new person. So I was hoping that we weren't gonna get, the evil painting again, that guy.
Vigo.
Vigo. I didn't want Vigo again. So instead of Vigo, they give us the story, which I don't like actually, but during a long time ago, there was this evil emperor, of course,
Garaka.
right? No, not that guy.
Oh, well,
There was this
Vigo.
evil emperor guy, and this evil emperor guy had enlist Garaka to like destroy armies and stuff, right?
Yes.
And then Garaka got too powerful, so these fire masters got together and they absorbed his soul. Well, they ripped off his horns, which was the source of his power, and put his soul into this orb. And I get cross-eyed on this. So Baraka can't talk to the living or control the living, but he can control and talk to ghosts only, right?
Yes.
Was Garaka human before all of this, or was Garaka always like this evil frozen demon?
I got that he was always just this entity.
Okay, is that what you get? Because I was wondering about, because I was like, was it a human before, and now it's ghost?
Yeah, I can do a quick read, but I think that's what it is. They didn't say anything on the contrary. I just thought, yeah.
I would say that this is the second weakest, worst villain in the Ghostbusters franchise. Like, I mean, number one's Gozer, right? And then Vigo's 2. Actually, kind of goes in order, right? I think number 3 is the girl Ghostbuster guy. Remember that guy that was bad, that wanted to kill himself to become a ghost?
The girl Ghostbuster?
Yeah, remember the girl Ghostbusters where the bad guy was this human?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say
That's
is
not
that,
canon though, right? But I understand what you mean. Yes.
yeah, it's not canon, but this one's the weakest, right? Like this frozen demon's pretty weak, right?
Yeah, and it is a phantom god, by the way.
So it was never human; it was always a phantom god.
Yes.
Okay. See, I don't like that either, right? Because didn't they say that Gozer at one point was a person before things happened? Like, I don't know, like.
Yeah, I think we just live in a world where once upon a time there were big bad monsters, and now they're the ghosts of the monsters. Anyway, I would agree. This did seem like maybe again this is where I kind of get this kids movie, just the pacing of it, where it just moved along to here's the Ghostbusters. Here's where they are right now. And here's the issue where the mayor says you can't do that anymore. And then as soon as they go to shut them down, and they get that issue where the Ghostbuster vault, the bank is starting to overfull or get overflowed.
Right.
And then Winston comes in and says, "Well, hey, we got the upgrade, 2024 upgrade of Ghostbusters that we're now going to tell you. We could have done that before."
No. I call BS on that because they even said that we got to call Winston's team of engineers. So they knew Winston was doing this.
They all have the same logo. Yep, you're right.
But this is actually good writing, right? Because if you and I were to sit down, right? If Hollywood would say, Jordan and Eric, write me a Ghostbuster sequel, I feel that this segment would come into our screenplay, right? Like, we know that they trap the ghost in this thing, but how big is this thing? And what would happen if it gets full? That's a very legitimate question. I think you and I would have came up with that.
Well, you're right, but if that, I would make that more of the central issue rather than it being a political thing, and rather being and have the mayor kind of be on their side, and then
All right.
have maybe someone like Peter Venkman be maybe like the liaison, have Winston be the wallet, and the one that is working in the underground part and all the new toys, and then have Ray be the guy who's the always
The expert.
yeah, the
Yeah.
expert, the supernatural expert that's always has been in looking up
Right.
all that sort of things, right? And have Peter and the mayor Walter Peck maybe not getting along but be like frenemies, and them Peter going to the mayor and be like, "Hey, we have this issue," and then the mayor's like, "No, we've already given you enough. We don't want to. I don't. My money's tight as it is. It's an election year. I don't want to give you any more money." Type of thing. You guys are going around the city destroying it. You have a 15-year-old girl who's blasting and destroying stuff like that too. Why should I give you any more money? Get out of my office. Type of thing, and have it be more around what is it called? Is it like I keep calling it a vault?
Well, we can call it a vault for what it is. I mean, that's what it is, right? They store ghost in this vault, right?
Yeah, I thought it was like there's gotta be a better name for it. A trap? I don't know. A
But
bank?
like,
Their ghost
but
bank?
like, there we go. We call it the ghost bank. I actually like that. We'll go with the ghost bank. But like, I mean, those are questions that us as fans that grew up with the original Ghostbusters would ask, right? Like, I mean, what happens inside the ghost bank? Do these ghosts all get along? Do they sit around and play poker? Do they try to kill each other?
Right.
Literally, you know what I mean? Like, what happens? So I like that, and I agree with you, right? That's pretty much should have been the central point, not some frozen demon with horns, right? It should have been, we don't want the ghost out because there's some bad ghost in this.
Sure. I don't mind the ghost with horns thing, but I think how they did it. Listen, it could have been any big bad in an orb. I understand that too. It didn't actually, or it didn't need to be at all. It could have just been one too many ghosts and popped them all together. Or what happens when you get all 10, 40, or 40 years or 10 years or however many, it's 40 years of
40
ghosts.
years, they said, yeah.
That much psychic telekinetic, whatever energy, psychokinetic energy, that some Ray stuff would be like, what happens when you get them all stored in one space? They're all gonna merge, and it's gonna break the ghost vault bank, and it's gonna
Perfect.
create this and that. And while that's happening, I think Winston could be like, okay, well, hey, we've actually been theorizing that, and we've made extra storage for this, enough to last a lifetime, yada yada. I think there's the story is not necessarily, I guess, my gripe. It's that they could have maybe improved upon it a little bit more, but I wonder if they did it this way to make it more kid friendly. To say, there's the bad guy. He's not a bad guy, and or maybe not give too much of the nostalgia, or maybe disrupt too much of the universe to make it so that Walter Peck is still a dickless man.
They're making they're making this movie. I mean, they're not stupid. They're making this movie for me and you because they know that we're showing this to our children. So it has to make it kidified enough to where it's not so scary for the kids. Because I would argue, the ghost dogs, the demon dogs in the first movie were terrifying.
Yeah.
Right. And especially when Sigourney Weaver gets, in the chair, right? That's
of course.
That's still haunting to me to this day. When those ghost dogs came back in Afterlife, I had a little right?
Or in Ghostbusters 2, the slime that tries to get Oscar out of the bathtub.
The slime when it
You're
reaches
telling
for it,
me
it has
that
like a
the
mouth.
kid's not
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
scared to take a bath after that one?
Right. It's like snakes in the toilet. Is it there? Like, yeah, I get it.
Of course.
So, but yeah, so that's what they're doing. But last thing we can put a pin in this one is that what they should have done was kind of go more with the plot of like Ghostbusters 2. Because remember in Ghostbusters 2, they released all the ghosts, right? Because the EPA came to shut it down. Remember?
Yep.
And ghosts were everywhere, and even the dock. Like there was like a quick little scene with somebody. The dock was like, the Titanic just arrived, right? And all the ghosts were coming out. Like
that was a good one.
Right. That's kind of what they should have done in a way, right? for this was that should have been it.
Oh no,
So
I
yeah.
agree. And I'm sorry to real quick. There's a part when they went to Ray's lab and they introduced all those different types of ghosts, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
That would have been a great way of, or maybe even later on, introducing this Garaka as I think he was too big an enemy for this movie.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, he was he was definitely world eater kind of
Yeah,
for yeah.
yeah. And I feel like I bring up this example all the time where like Spider-Man: Homecoming, where his villain in that was the Vulture, and
Uh-huh.
that's a perfect villain for that. You're a new superhero.
Uh-huh.
You're still learning everything. You're still trying to juggle being a kid and still being a superhuman. The Vulture is not a villain with massive superpower. He just has
Uh-huh.
alien tech, and he's a very defeatable foe.
He's human.
Yes, and I feel like Garako had already been given this story and background to where he is a god with uncontrollable or unsurmisable kind of power that's he can control undead armies and instantly freeze and spikes
But to be
everywhere.
fair though, wasn't Gozer a god though?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, hold on, hold on.
Frozen
I'll
was
come back
next.
onto that because I got to think about that. Uh, yeah, but they also defeated Gozer with a nuke, right, by crossing the beams.
Crossing the streams. Yeah, yeah. I mean that's true. Which this thing didn't affect Geezer or whatever his name is.
Can I actually? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and derail then because we have the Stay Puft Marshmallow mini men in this movie.
Which I kind of like.
They're cute again for the kids. I understand that.
Yeah, they're cute.
I have to ask though because in the first movie, it was Ray's manifestation that came up with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Men, right? When they
Right.
were at the top of the library or
No,
oh, the apartment building,
the apartment complex. Yeah.
and they're confronting Gozer, and Gozer says something like choose or right,
Choose your destroyer.
yeah, choose your destroyer, and they try to keep their mind blanks, and Ray just thinks of something harmless. He tries to, and he thinks of Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, right? They blow it up, marshmallow everywhere, right?
Right.
So then, how do we still get these little marshmallow men? That were they in Afterlife?
Yeah, they were in Afterlife. That's when that's what kind of shit that shivers on my spine. Paul Rudd was in Walmart, literally in Walmart, and he's just shopping, and you hear people scream, and he turns a corner, and the frozen food section is the demon dog,
Oh, right. Okay, okay.
right,
So that was just
right,
the
and like what happened was he would walk by an aisle, and Gozer, being Gozer, got the mini
I
Stay Puft.
got you.
Right.
All right. So
Yeah.
my question was answered because of Afterlife, which I
Yeah.
watched the once and forgot about it quickly after. Okay.
You did. You did. One thing that kind of pissed me off was actually the arc of Phoebe's ghost friend Melody, I think her name is.
Yes.
She pissed me off in this movie. So the reason why is because of how her character, the ghost friend Melody, ended. So for those of you, the story is Phoebe can't be a Ghostbuster anymore. But she goes to a park or Central Park, whatever, and she plays chess. And I'm thinking she's playing chess with Harold Ramis, but it's not.
That would have been cool.
That's who I thought she was playing chess with, but no, it's this random fire ghost girl named Melody, and they become friends, right? And middle of the movie, you find out that Melody Ghost Girl is working along with Geezer or whatever.
Karaka.
I'm just going to say Frozen God, like Garaka, is working with Garaka to trick Phoebe to become a ghost to free him. And the only reason is simply because she wants to see her family. I wish this never happened. I like the idea of Phoebe being a loner. The actresses came out and said that she feels the character is lesbian. and she she had a good relationship with this fire ghost girl until this sneaky little plan to get her to become a god. How I hated that. I liked the beginning of their relationship, and there was a mystery with it.
Oh man, do you tell me that the actress did come out and say that?
That's what she's. Yeah, you can Google it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I believe you. It's just a bummer. I didn't think that there needed to be because I could see the tension
You can
into it,
see it.
but the same part, she's 15. So I thought to myself, well, she's just a girl trying to make a friend. That's
Well, yeah.
why does everything have to be that? Why does
I don't think that's what she was saying. I just think that's what she was saying about her character. Because what I'm complaining about is that this ghost girl says her name is Melody, and she was burned alive in a fire that she accidentally caused, and her family got killed too. And the next time we see the fire girl is where Phoebe and Podcast go to a diner, and when the camera pans away, it's Melody's diner.
yeah.
Like that's I actually want to explore that. Like I'm like, oh my God, was she a waitress? And she kept on playing with the match, right? Was she a waitress there? She accidentally? Did she do it on purpose? Like there's a story there that I wish they would have told.
Yeah.
And they just missed an opportunity on that. That was a good relationship to have, a Ghostbuster friends with a ghost. Anyway,
I
I'm
agree
rambling.
because there was a nice detail that they had with Melody's aura, which was the blue misty aura. But every once in a while, you see a flicker of red.
Right. Yeah. Like I was into this.
So I agree that there would have been more there rather than it just being kind of this quick pass of a character just to turn the plot, just to push it along.
Why may not her the villain? Like I thought that too, right?
I understand that, but yeah, just to make it whatever. I didn't care for this, not more so because of Melody, but more because of Phoebe, because we're led to believe through the first movie, Afterlife, and this one, that Phoebe is a Spengler and she's very, very, very smart. And this very, very, very smart person is now suddenly making very, very stupid choices. And listen, I understand that she feels vulnerable. She feels outcasted because she's just a girl and she's just 15 and no one wants to listen to me even though I'm always right. So I'm going to make these dumb mistakes like invite a ghost into my house kind of a thing. Or I know, I'll go kill myself for 2 minutes so that we can hang out. And it's like that seems a bit far fetched, Phoebe. And for you to not tell anybody. Also, that part in the diner when she goes in there and instead of like talking to Melody, she just blasts the window out with the photon
Yeah, she
pack.
froze. Yeah, she froze because she went to go get the ghost, and she found out it was Melody. And
Yeah,
Melody acknowledged her. She didn't just sit down and go, "Hey, Melody, what's
yeah,
going on? Is this your restaurant? What's going on, bud?"
yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know her?
nothing.
It's like I feel like Phoebe made a lot of bad choices there, and maybe that's to the development of the character. I
But
understand
that's
that.
what Paul Rudd told her to do, though.
To what?
Sorry to interrupt you. I am, but
Oh, to make mistakes?
that's what Paul Rudd and his wife said. Make mistakes. You're 15. It's only for a couple of years. Do stupid things, and they call it out in the movie as a joke. You were friends with a ghost. We meant to get a tattoo.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean,
Uh,
she did what she was told to do.
you're right. I guess I gave Phoebe too much credit then. So that might be my fault as the viewer. Where,
She's a different Phoebe.
yeah,
I mean, she's a different Phoebe because I actually don't like Phoebe in this. I liked Phoebe in Afterlife. I mean, she was smart, she was fun, she was witty. She looked like a Ghostbuster. I mean, she looked badass. And
yeah,
in this movie, she did look badass, Eric. I mean, like when she like in the beginning when they were facing like that dragon ghost thing, and she got slung out of the car, and they have all these cool Ghostbuster tech. You know, like she looked great. But after this, boom, she floundered, man.
yeah. I don't know if they were just trying to give her a bit more of the teenage arc rather than it being the Ghostbuster arc. But I don't know, for a character like that, I don't think you need to have that big of a range. You can just kind of pick one of those lanes and stay in it, whether you're being like this intelligent loner. And I would think that for someone like Phoebe, seeing Winston's lab, she would have gone crazy and just like, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay with Lucky all the time.
I'm going to stay here with Lucky and kill it. But no, she wants to go
I can't be a Ghostbuster, but I could certainly be here and
learn all this stuff.
Yeah, and help out. She's smart enough. She's certainly smart enough to help all of that and do more research for the ghost. But we have to move the plot along.
But she would rather go to Lilith Fair with Melody.
Yeah. Speaking of moving the plot along, we get to see Podcast and Ray meet Nadim.
Yes. So I did not think I would like this, right? So in the beginning of the movie, Nadim shows up and he's like, oh, yes, I have these things. I don't want to sell them for a price, like that kind of a guy, right? I love it, right? And he's selling this orb, and this orb has powers, blah, blah. I was pissed when I saw him on screen. But as the movie went on, I actually kind of dug this guy.
I like this guy, too. He was a good character.
I don't know what. I physically hated him, Eric. I'm just like, when he showed up in screen, I was like, please tell me this is a one-off. Tell me this is a cameo. Like, no. But this was good story for him. I liked it.
Yeah, well, because he started off kind of scummy, right? Like just selling, I don't know, just selling stuff.
Off his grandmother's stuff to make money for
whatever. He's a loser.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a loser. Yeah.
And yeah, just really trying to sell whatever he can just to make a buck. But this who turns out to be this kind of relatable buffoon. Is that a good way of putting it? Really? We're just like, I have powers? What?
Do you remember when you and I referenced Dumb and Dumber recently in a few episodes where I didn't get a chance to say my piece on it, and I guess I'll bring this up now. What makes Dumb and Dumber so good is that it actually is a good plot, right? But there's two dimwits that don't realize what's going on.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, yeah, because when they go to his house, they go, oh, yeah, come on in. It's a mess. It's a crappy New York City apartment. And he goes, but I have this secret room that's like, whatever, behind a bookcase.
It's a sex dungeon.
Yeah. And it's all surrounded by this like brass, and it has all this like ancient artifacts. And he's just so Dumb and Dumber with it. Like, I don't know, it's just there.
How much do you think it's worth?
Yeah, I can't part away from it for a price. It was like, did you take this orb from this hand stand thing? It's like, I loved him in this. I mean, I don't know much I gotta say. Like, this guy turned out to be good. When they brought him back, they got some more nostalgia, right? Where they put the little ghost thing on him and he's possessed with something. They put that little crappy helmet thing on him, right? You know, and they realized he can move flames. Like, light the candle. I loved it. This guy was fun.
I liked it the best at the end when they were doing the interviews after everything was said and done. Right. And they're interviewing the Ghostbusters and the family, yada, yada. And then it goes to him and it's, how about you? And he's like, oh, I'm a fire master, apparently. And I just got here and I helped save the world. Kind of, that was just charming.
You and I would be that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be like, what?
Exactly. Like, hey, listen, 5 hours ago, my life was very different than it is now.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's definitely going to be a Ghostbuster in the third one, obviously. I mean, this movie was made for $100 million. It grossed $200 million. There's going to be a sequel. But it'd be great to see him in it as a Ghostbuster, but we'll see. But, yeah, he was charming. So I'm glad that you liked him in this because I was hoping I wasn't alone. Is there
small role don't need to be any bigger, right?
Yeah, maybe. Do you know what? I'm pulling this out of my rear end. You know what he'd be good for in the sequel? He would be good for the secretary role. What's her face?
Oh, yeah, good call.
Because why? I mean, we've already done, like the old guys. I was getting ready to that point, right? We've already done the nostalgia, Ray and Egon. It's time for them to move on, right?
Yeah.
And like he would be great as we got one, right?
Yeah.
That would be him.
Yeah, and every once in a while he's just you know, like reminds people like I have a power. You guys remember that? And it's like,
Remember
okay,
my
yeah, we're gonna go over here. Can I come? I can do. Do you need something with fire? A candle started or something?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good comic relief.
That'd be
Good call.
perfect. Another kind of cool, but I'm scratching my head cameo is Patton Oswalt. So they go to the famous library from the first movie,
Sure, it was a
and
nice little another nostalgia grab, like you said.
and this is where they get to learn all about the big bad, right?
Convenient, right? They see
Um,
the expert there who's got everything.
what do you feel about the OG librarian? Like, did you think it was cool to see the OG librarian ghost, but also after thinking about it, I was like, there was no reason to be in there.
Yeah, it was a big reach. Where again, I get what you're saying. It's a callback. Librarian's still there. She never got caught. But in the same part, remember when we did the Super Mario Brothers movie, the cartoon movie,
Mhm.
and we had said that like a few nods are cute and it's fine to keep you into it. But when the whole movie turns into it, it gets exhausting pretty quick. And a nod like this, it's teetering on that. I already got enough. There was listen, you get Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. You had a lot of other like little bits that were in here that were great. I get that. Walter Peck coming back is a fantastic thing. The
Mhm.
mentions of everything that was going on before, great. This felt like it was a bit more of a reach.
Right. I mean, like, you're telling me that Patton Oswalt has been in this library for how many years and he never
The
got
real
freaked out?
library, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on. Another thing that I said, come on, about was right at the beginning of the movie, right? I'm going way back in the beginning, I'm sorry, but it made me go lazy writing.
The
Uh,
introduction to Garaka,
no, in the very, very beginning, where we get them chasing the
the
ghost in the beginning,
the
right?
worm thing, yeah.
And it cuts them chasing. It cuts to two cops just sitting there, and the guy's like, "Should we call it in?" No, they got it. Whew, it's a scorcher today. It is hot, right? That's what the fat cop was saying. And I look at Gina, and I'm like, "It's called Frozen Empire. Remember that."
Yeah.
Like they just had to do that. And then we get the introduction of Garaka, right? Freaking Phoebe voluntarily commits suicide, essentially, so she could show her girlfriend, I mean, best friend, that she's one ghost with her. Because why would she do that, right?
They're gonna merge
I
spirit.
yes, they are. They're definitely going to merge spirits. And I'm just like, why? Why? Like, it's so stupid, though. I mean, why would she say, I'm going to commit suicide for 2 minutes exactly, if my calculations are correct, so I can understand your world and your dimension? But that falls flat. Garaka then possesses her to break the orb, I guess, to release himself, to turn New York into a frozen empire, hence the title.
Yep.
And then this is where we get the showdown, right? We get the Fire Master, we get the Ghostbusters, everybody's in the firehouse. It's great. We have a battle in the firehouse. We've never had a battle there before. And well, I scratched my head on one thing because they get a pounding at the door. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like a joke, right? It's gonna be like some ghost or whatever. No, it's Bill Murray. Haha, joke, right? Bill Murray showing up. And then I mean nothing really happens, right? Everything's predictable. Baraka shows up. The proton packs can't defeat it, and it freezes. And wait, how do they defeat it? The Fire Master helps.
So yeah, the
Oh,
Firemaster helps with the help of Melody because she has the match. Remember, so she lights the match, giving the Firemaster a flame. Who, by the way, was not frozen during all this. I guess his brass armor prevented him from doing that. But he was able to use the flame as kind of one lasso around it, and then Phoebe had used brass and coated the reactor with the brass, changing the composition.
to
So
green.
yeah, so that she could empower her proton pack, and obviously use it to get to add the second lasso around Garaka. So they're kind of double strapping them there. And then while they're doing that, they thought they could get the trap to get Garaka, but the trap was too weak. We need something bigger, and that's when the old Ghostbusters or Ray went down and said, "Oh, we can use the ghost vault and reverse the yada yada science talk and use that as a trap instead," in which they do. And yeah, listen, by the time they hit the library and Padnaza was talking about Garaka, you already knew what the ending was going to be.
Of course.
Yeah, and it was a bit eye rolly because this typical, again, in kids movie fashion, the bad guy takes his damn time to get to the where he needs to go. Get everywhere else is real fast. He comes rolling in on the shore in his frozen clouds and freezes everything, and it looks like he's making great time. But when he gets to the firehouse, for some reason, he has to slowly walk, and hand slowly goes in. And I'm gonna get you. I'm giving you to the count of 5 before I get there. I'm gonna slowly get there.
But what's the point to kill them? I mean, like, was that the point to turn him into ghosts so they can do his bidding?
I believe the point was he tries to extract Phoebe's ghost, by the way, a little bit later on, but he wanted to release all of the ghosts in the bank, in the ghost bank, and then open the portal doing the other side and let loose all the other spirits so that he can control our world with all the undead. I feel like I said a lot in that time. Yeah.
I mean, look, for everybody who's listening on this one, obviously Eric and I are kind of going on our third wind here because this movie's asking for that, because this ending is not good. I mean, like, it's a very, very predictable ending. And Garaka's weak. Everything you said, Eric, is true, right? You got like those long fingers with the "I'm going to get you, my pretty, and your little dog too" thing, and it's just like, oh my god, Garaka's a weak villain. They got to come up with a better villain, and if they're going to make a third movie, so they got. I mean, like, we all know the urban legend that they were going to make a Ghostbusters 3, and the beginning of that movie was Bill Murray was going to die and become a ghost and become the villain. Do you want that?
No.
Do you want this to be the Star Wars sequel trilogy where every sequel, the main OG star dies? A Han Solo dies, a Luke dies, a Leia dies.
No, I don't think that any of these Ghostbusters need to die, especially from supernatural causes, or have their spirits lingering about. I think the third one, if anything, because of the popularity of this movie and how the trend of it is going, I would love for them to bring back Rick Moranis finally in the third
Right,
one
but
and have him do something else here. But I,
where can he go as a big bad? Because Gozer was a big bad. Vigo was cool because of the ooze. Or am I wrong? I mean, do you think that, when are we going to talk about this again? Who's better, Gozer or Vigo?
I would think that Gozer.
Well, why though? Because Gozer didn't do anything.
You're right, and Vigo just covered an art museum in slime.
But he was in control of slime. Gozer did
man, the
what?
slime in the sewer was pretty cool.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get at. And I'm sorry, I'm going off track here, but you and I were the same generation, right? We loved it. Vigo was pretty cool.
Vigo was pretty cool. Listen, I'm not trying to say he's not. He got the Statue of Liberty in the game for sure. We had Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for Gozer, but we also got the Demon Dogs with him as well too, which could have done more damage. I don't know. The other part of it is I feel like when you compare Garaka, Vigo, and Gozer. These are all gods of destruction, death, and it's kind of the same theme. I would think, you know what I would like for the third one of this is maybe not so much a god of destruction, but maybe just a god of like a mischief.
So Loki.
Yeah, sure, but someone who just likes to really just wreak havoc for the fun of it because it's fun for them. Mr. Mixapixel, do you know who that is? The Superman villain in
No,
the
I don't
DC.
know.
Yeah, he's just a guy that just kind of pops up and just in appropriate times and just causes mischief, man. Just for the heck of it. So a poltergeist, a very very powerful kind of poltergeist, rather than it being something like some one of the rulers of hell opening up the gate, Dante himself coming through, and the world will know my wrath kind of a thing. This impending doom. It's like, okay, well, you're gonna get stopped by a 15-year-old girl, so yeah,
Right.
I guess you're not that bad then. If this guy who just learned how to use fire, 8 or 5 hours ago, and a 15-year-old girl can stop you, it's not really you're not really that big of a bad. So
I mean, something cool, right? Because Vigo had the sewer with pink slime, and Gozer had the dogs. This dude had ice. Like, not cool. I just want them. They need to not make more. They need to do a third one and have a very very good villain. And I feel if I were to write this movie, I feel the villain should have been Melody. No Frozen Empire. Had you think that she was a cool ghost, kind of that oxymoron thing where it's like Phoebe's a Ghostbuster, but she's friends with the ghost, kind of a thing,
sure.
and have it be on something on a deeper level than
I
this
feel like you're
nonsense.
asking too much because the movie itself is playful, and especially if you're going to keep it in the kid realm, maybe keep it in the realm of play. How about like Ghostbusters 3, The Attack of the Slimers, where
Jesus. Okay,
you
that's
get more Slimers, or because they were trying to do research on Slimer and something like that, they multiplied it, or the origin of Slimer comes through. Because listen, we got all these other ghosts in a little bit of an origin of what they're doing. A lot of them resemble human.
right.
What the hell is
Uh,
Slimer?
Part three: Ghostbusters versus Lady Ghostbusters. Let's get into our popcorn ratings on this one, right?
Sure.
I don't know how you feel, and I don't know where you're going to go with. And I've said many times in our episodes that medium bags are always cop outs, but there's a medium bag for a reason. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Uh huh.
It's not a small and it's not a large, man. Like this is a medium bag for me. I enjoyed everything besides the villain, which kind of sucks. But then the Ghostbuster movies aren't really about the villains, really. Like if you go back and look, Gozer's in it the last 10 minutes. Vigo doesn't come out of a painting until the last 5 minutes, right? It's all about the threat of the villain, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
these movies are not about the villain.
the friends we make along the way.
Yeah, there you go. It's good.
We didn't
Uh,
even talk about James A. Caster's role in this
who's
movie.
that?
He was the other nerdy scientist, Lars,
Oh, is
who
that who that
I
is?
think it was supposed to be the tribute to Egon in this movie, as he wore the blue suit, the OG blue suit.
I wondered why he wore that, but okay.
He had
No,
the glasses and everything. So
this is definitely a nostalgia trip. I think the movie skipped ahead a little bit. I think there's a couple of probably like a year missing in between, but overall, it's fine. I think I gave Ghostbusters Afterlife a large. So, I mean, this is a case where the sequel's not as good as the original, if you will. But, I mean, I think I've said what I've said about this movie. It's fine. It's okay. It's a medium. I may check it out in a year from now or 2 years when we do part three. So, Eric, what's your popcorn rating for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire?
yeah, I agree with you. It's a pretty standard movie. I I think going before starting this movie, I had medium expectations, and all of those were met. They didn't go above. They didn't really go below. They were just kind of there. Runtime 2 hours. I got every piece of what I thought was going to be in this movie. That's fine. I agree. The villain was maybe a bit unnecessary, but again, the majority, if not all, the entertainment of the movie comes from the antics that are before the big bad coming in. They overplayed their hands a few different times in this. They didn't need to. The movie's already charming enough with all the characters that are in it and all the toys and the tech that are in there. That's cool. I think that the relationship between Phoebe and Melody was a bit, I would have liked to see more Melody's character played out a bit more, maybe less of Garaka, and maybe that threat. Maybe Melody thought that her parents were inside of the ghost bank, and she was trying to release the ghost bank to get them out.
Simple plot, right there.
Yeah, kind of something like that. Just throwing it out there for Gil, who listens to the show. Obviously, the director and the writer of the movie.
Number
So,
one fan.
number one, yeah, he writes us all the time.
Well done.
So, just a few ideas there. I think would have helped maybe with that. I liked Patton Oswalt's character in this, even though he was just there to really like give the answer, and he
Right.
was like, "Well, lucky for you, I have the book right here. Open to the chapter. It's
All
right
of
here.
them.
Oh, I know
Right
you don't
there.
know that orb. Oh, I know that orb. It's what that language sounds like. Only 6 people in the world know that language, and I bet you it's my partner. Yada yada. Oh, I have the wax recording right here.
Right. Abraham, Mary Todd Lincoln says the F word or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, every other character I think just played their part. Paul Rudd did a very good job of playing comic relief. Carrie Coon, who played Mom Spengler, did a good job of kind of the worrisome mother, but at the same part, she's she plays like just go along with it. She's over it as well most of the time too. Like she's just lost control. And listen, I do like these characters. I do feel like the situation that they played them in was just kind of So yeah, medium
Yeah.
bag is fine. I saw that reading in the facts of this movie that the original cast was here for the majority of the filming and were really a big part of the filming, whereas in in Afterlife, they were there for like a 2-week cameo kind of thing at the end. So
Okay, so they were involved more.
and this one, they were there really with mingling with the cast and crew, sharing stories, giving input, and being a part of it, which was it's awesome to hear because I think this movie feels more Ghostbusters than maybe the other one, but I liked the other one because it stood on its own.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I didn't want to go to New York yet. I wanted to stay in Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And go to New York in the third movie. You
Yeah.
know, like I mean, like part 2 is where they build Ghostbusters Incorporated, and they start doing stuff. And they fight another god monster until they get to New York in the third movie. That's what the arc should have been.
Yeah. I don't think any one character, maybe Phoebe, had an over amount of camera time in it. Trevor Finn Wolfhard's character had a good amount of camera time. Podcast, the kid who that character, I think he was a great comic relief. He played an appropriate amount of time in there too. Everyone played their roles really well. I enjoyed it. I'm not really a fan of James A. Caster. He played his part very well, and I have nothing really bad to say about him and what he did. So I don't know. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it just wasn't much to enjoy.
Right. Definitely medium bag, no butter, no extra salt. Just I'm here for my $5 movie ticket on a Tuesday and my free medium bag of popcorn, please.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting that.
And I am falling asleep in my recliner, and my wife wakes me up. It's where we're at.
Yeah, honey, do you want to rewind it? No, you can keep on going. We're good.
We're good. We're good.
I know exactly where we're at.
I gotta take the dog for a walk. Hey, what'd you think of Ghostbusters? I mean, it's It's not the original, but it's better than the girl one.
Yeah.
You got a beer?
Yeah. I do feel though that was it Paul Feig, that one had a lot more jokes in it, or at least attempts at jokes.
The girl one did.
Yeah, but it got to a point where it became too silly and became just more of like this, almost like a parody.
I will never forget this. So not to make the episode go longer, but I'll never forget this. And there's no Jordan Flair. I actually do like the the all girls Ghostbuster movie. I actually do find it fun.
I enjoyed it.
Because yeah, but also because I had a theater experience. Right, my wife was super pregnant at this time. Like Gina was pregnant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a stiff breeze, and she would give birth. You know. And we go to the theater to see the all women's Ghostbuster movie. We reviewed it, if I remember. And we reviewed
I
it in
think
16.
yeah.
In 16. And she was laughing so hard. My very pregnant wife went to her knees in the theater and was just laughing her ass off. I will never forget that image at all. I'm dead, no flare. Like she was so into that movie, and that's what made it fun for me.
Listen, I agree, because that movie, but it's still, I think that movie was a comedy Paul Feig movie first, and Ghostbusters second. It felt like Bridesmaids went to Ghostbusters.
Oh, Eric.
Right?
Good job on that, bud.
Like,
Bridesmaids 2, Ghostbustery. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun for what it was, but it wasn't a Ghostbusters movie.
No, it wasn't. And the hate that it got, and we both know the hate that it got, and we disregarded our review. I remember that the hate that people hated for it, but we hated it for other reasons.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. This movie's fine. It's a medium bag. If you like it, if you're a Ghostbuster fan, check it out. If you're not a Ghostbuster fan, you're not missing anything, so don't worry about it. It's a great, what I call Beverly Hills Cop 2 Sunday 10 o'clock early morning movie. It's just there. It's Beverly Hills Cop. You know the song. You know the laugh. That's all you need to know.
No surprises.
It's there. It's a great Sunday early morning movie. But thank you so much for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can download us every Thursday, wherever you get your podcast from. We are on. Eric, thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back next week for another awesome episode. Have a good night. After you shot them up. Well, go ahead.
If you're in Michigan, though, because there's a lot of rich history with beer in Michigan. As you know, Prohibition, where Detroit played a pretty big part in the beer runs, and there's still a few of the bars that are around here that have the underground tunnels where they would run the beer barrels through. It was a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool history.
You should take me there. That's
I would love to take you there. You know what? And I will have a drink with you there.
Perfect. Thank you. I would like to, next time I come up, I want you to take me on those tours. That'd be great.
I would love to take you on those tours. There's only a few of them left because they're hard to keep up, and but Detroit's having its resurgence. Anyway, I would say that depending on what time of year in Michigan, you're going to have, right now it's Oberon season.
Okay.
We're coming to the end of Oberon season, actually. And so people might be doing a bit more of like probably the Miller Lights, because, we're in baseball season.
Uh-huh.
So people are probably doing the light beers, maybe even a summer shandies, of course. Not Michigan, but Stroh's is a popular.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of Bohemian kind of brew. Stroh is the big popular one. I personally, because we have the Canadian influence, big fan of the Canadian beers that come over here. I can't do Molson's anymore. Body won't allow it. Okay.
What about Labatt?
Oh yeah. Listen. Now here's the sign of the age. I used to be Labatt Blue through and through. Just love me some. And you just say, hey, I'll have a blue. Like, oh, all right.
Oh, you're the cool guy. Okay.
Well, yeah, you're in the area. Everyone knows what you're trying to say. I'll have a blue. They go, yeah. But now I'm a little bit older. Now I have to do a blue light, please.
Nice.
You know,
Okay.
I got places to be. I'm trying to and go ahead and put a nipple on top of that one too, if you could, please. I want to milk this one for a little bit.